Hey everyone, it's me, Matt. Welcome back to my Florida garden. I hope you're all doing great, and I hope you're ready to hang out with me today, because in today's video, we're finally planting up my front porch seasonal containers for fall. I picked up a beautiful assortment of plants, and I can't wait to get started. So let's get into it. So first off, I wanted to give you a sneak peek at everything that we'll be working with today. Like I said, I picked up a beautiful variety of plants. You can see there's lots of fall colors here, lots of reds, oranges, yellows. There's deep green, white, and even a little purple. I also picked up these 3 large pumpkins. I got an amazing deal on them. All 3 of them were less than $12. So before I go over more stats on these plants, as well as where I picked up these pumpkins, I wanted to also quickly show you our work area. So coming up to my front door, you can see I've got 2 black metal containers that are empty, flanking either side of my front walkway. So we cleaned these containers out together in a porch cleanup video that I posted about 3 weeks ago. You can see they're still empty. They are in desperate need of some new plants, which that's the project for today. So really quick, these metal containers I picked up at IKEA about 2 years ago. They were probably, I don't know, $8 to $10. They've held up really well in the weather here in Florida, held up really well to the elements. There's no rust on them. I did have to add my own drain holes. I used a hammer and a nail. You can kind of see how I poked a whole bunch of drain holes toward the bottom because they didn't come with drain holes. But basically, if you're looking for some nice containers for your porch or patio, I highly suggest checking out IKEA. They've always got a great selection. Also over here, I do have these drip emitters. So when we plant these up, I'm gonna tuck the drip emitters into the containers. You can see this other one over here. So these containers are hooked up to drip. I tapped into the existing brown drip tubing in my flower beds. So yeah, I like to change these containers out with the seasons. I don't know if you've seen any of my past videos. I'm gonna back up a little bit. This area of my front yard experiences seasonal light variability. Did I say that right? Variability. Seasonal light variability. Basically, as the sun gets lower in the sky in the fall and winter, I get a ton of shade up here. You can see how the house is really shading the front area here. So it makes it challenging to plant up because you need to choose plants that are, part shade to full shade. And then in the summer, when the sun gets higher in the sky, this area transforms into a full sun flower bed. So this whole bed here, as well as those 2 front porch containers, I change out seasonally so that I can adapt them to the challenging lighting conditions. So if you've got areas like this in your garden, I highly suggest swapping out the containers or the flower bed with the seasons, because it allows you to, like I said, adapt the plants to the changing light conditions. So that's kind of a quick overview of the front porch here. Also really quick, I don't know if you hear the chainsaw in the background. One of my neighbors is cutting down a tree. Of course, right when I come outside to start filming, we've got lots of noise from power tools, but bear with me. Hopefully it's not too much and it's not too annoying. So yeah, this is our work area. So let's go over and review the plants. So looking at the plants I picked up, I'll start here in the center. I've got 4 different varieties of coleus. I don't know their names, but I've got 2 of each one. So there's 2 red ones, there's 2 of the yellow-orange ones, 2 of the red and yellow ones, and then 2 of these yellow, kind of chartreuse green and purple. So they've got the deep purple veins, almost black. They look like spider webs. So these plants will grow about 18 to 24 inches tall and about that wide. I am gonna cram 4 of them into each container. So these containers will be packed full because I want them to look full from the get-go, but these will get massive or could get massive. But since they're gonna be planted so close together, they might be on the smaller side because they'll be competing with each other. In any case, these plants are so beautiful, and you can see they've got all the colors of fall. So if you're familiar with the thrill, fill, spill planting technique, these coleus are my thrill plants with their taller, upright, vertical growth habit and beautiful colors and textures. And then looking at my fill plants, I'm gonna use these begonias, these white begonias with their little yellow centers. They've got these beautiful deep green, brownish, almost red leaves. These plants will grow to be about 10 to 12 inches tall and wide. So they'll have a beautiful mounding growth habit. And then over here, these are my fill plants. These are wire vines. You can see they've got just such interesting texture, beautiful color, kind of like a red vine, dark red vine. These will grow about 12 inches in length, so I'll tuck them in close to the edge of the containers and they'll spill over the front. They'll look beautiful. Looking at my pumpkins here, I picked these pumpkins up at Aldi. So they were $3.95 each. You heard that right, less than $4 each, and they're massive. I mean, look at how big these are, and these stems are incredible. I was so shocked when I saw them at Aldi. I feel like every other store, whether it was a chain grocery store or even Home Depot, they wanted like $10 to $12 for each pumpkin, and I got all 3 of these for less than $12. So I'm really excited about that. So as far as our materials that we'll be using, I picked up a new bag of Miracle Grow potting mix. I am going to amend the soil with some of this plant tone organic fertilizer. I've got my shovel. All of these plants are heavy feeders. They're annuals. So the plant tone will really help feed them as they settle into their new homes in my container. And then lastly, right here, I've got a watering can of water so I can water everything in thoroughly. So let's start off by prepping the containers. I'll go grab the containers and we will fill them with potting mix and amend the soil with some plant tone. All right, so my containers are all prepped and I moved everything here into this flower bed because why not? We cleaned out this entire area a few weeks ago and I figured let's keep the mess in the flower bed instead of here on my walkway. So as far as placement, I'm basically gonna be doing the same thing in each container, but a mirror image of one container versus the other. That way they look symmetrical. So I'm going to put the coleus plants around the back like this. And then we're going to go in, hold on. I envisioned this taking less time. So we'll go like this with our coleus, right? So you can kind of see how I've got them arcing or swooping along the back of the container. Then we're gonna take our begonias and they will go in the center. Like that. And then we will squeeze those wire vines in the front. Well, I don't have enough room there, but this wire vine will go in the front to match the other one here. So let me set you all up on the tripod and I will quickly get these planted in the ground and then we can move them to my front porch. We'll water them in and then we will also move my ginormous pumpkins up onto the porch as well. So that was simple enough. These containers look so beautiful. I just love them so much. And I'm also really happy that I was able to contain the mess here in my garden bed. Although I'm covered in dirt. My knees are all dirty and my hands are all dirty, but at least I was able to keep my walkway here clean. So let's really quick move my containers up onto my front porch. We'll water them in, we'll place the pumpkins, and then I'll give you a front porch reveal. All right, my pumpkins and containers have been placed. My plants have all been watered in. I think this turned out amazing. I absolutely love this plant combination. It's perfect for fall. The coleus, the begonias, and the wire vine look so great together. And then, like I said before, these plants are planted, or the containers are planted so that they're a mirror image of one another. So you can see the red coleus on the inside, and then it graduates out to the, what is that, yellow and orange, and then the red and yellow, and then the yellowish chartreuse and purple. I think it looks so beautiful. And then I'm obsessed with my massive pumpkins. I tucked one here in between my liriope and paintus flowers, and then I've got 2 more up here on the front porch. And then off camera, I did tuck the drip emitters into the containers. You can see the tubing here and here. So these containers will get watered every other day for 20 minutes. And then starting next week, I will start fertilizing them with some water-soluble plant food, and I'll do that on a weekly basis. And then for reference, this is the water-soluble plant food that I use. It's the Proven Winners Premium Water-Soluble Plant Food. I buy it on Amazon, but if it's not available, I also recommend the Miracle Grow water-soluble fertilizer. I'll be sure to link both in the video description for reference. So here's one last look at my front porch containers and pumpkins. I think this project turned out so great, and I'm so happy that I was able to tackle it today, because Halloween is literally less than a week away, so better late than never. Also, don't walk, run down to Aldi and make sure to grab yourself some $3.95 pumpkins. So that's a wrap with this video, and just in time, because I think I hear my neighbor starting their lawnmower. So I hope you found this video useful. Hopefully I've inspired you to plant up some seasonal containers for your front porch or patio. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video.